So a modular layout lets you transport it, and each module is a section of, I guess you'd call it a table, that can be put together, and usually, especially if you're using like Speedmo standards, pretty much any configuration, to make any track plan you want. You know, we could flip this around and go the other way with it. We can turn this into one big loop. It's just endless possibilities, pretty much. Over here we have our modules from the Mid-Ohio Valley Model Railroad Club. This is meant to be set up as an oval, but we only brought half of it. But we've got the main section of it here. It comes around into Doug's modules. We don't have any scenery on ours, and putting it beside of his put us completely to shame. He's got some awesome scenery going on here. His stuff is a slightly skinnier format. He does a 16-inch wide end plate, which you can absolutely do with Speedmo. It's the same template. You just don't make it as wide. Ours are 24. He did 16. You can go all the way down to 12. See, he came back out to 24 for this curve. These are Larry's Freemo modules. The big difference between Freemo, the rail height is the same. But you can see on Speedmo where we do not have fitter rails, and I was talking about them being soldered right to the end there, they have fitter rails that they have to fit in every time. So an inch back from there. Again, awesome scenery here. It looks like he's unplugged it, but he's motorized those pump jacks. They have sound. This little junction here, really neat little scenic break that they did with the tunnel, just kind of separates it. On this side, this is Ken's Y. He based this off of a CSX prototype outside of Louisville, I think he said, Kentucky. But this is an actual format that they did because they couldn't get enough land on each side to have a traditional Y, so they had to kind of scrunch it up. Senior modelers guys stuff is over there. Freight house here. You can see as we come through. What was the name of these modules? The city?
This is St. Paul.
St. Paul. Okay, so from there, at that junction at the tunnel that came down through St. Paul, and you can see here, there's a little ramp because the sipping and switching guys, we wanted to interface with them in their loop, but they run at a 48-inch railhead. So somebody, I think that was Doug, built a ramp to take it down that additional 2 inches so we could interface with them. And then that comes through the door over here, the sipping and switching guys. So their stuff, 48-inch railhead. They don't use fitter rails. They use the same flux ends like the Speedmo modules do, right? They're a little bit lower, and they have a standard of 3 tracks. So you can see there's one at the 8-inch mark, one at the 10-inch mark, and one at the 24-inch mark, I believe. So as you're going around, your train is on one of those tracks the whole time. This makes it to where as you come around, there's a couple different diamonds on it, and every time that you make a lap, it switches you from, like, see, he's coming off the outside track, and that middle track comes around the inside, and then as that inside track comes around, it goes back out to the outside. Their thing is they set up in big spaces to kind of fill it out and just have trains running, where the Speedmo layout's set up more like point to point. They'll generate a switch list and actually do an operation. And you can see they've been at it for a good long while. Some of these say 2007, 2009, so a lot of experience went into their door stuff. Matt, he's got something he calls Mini-Mo that he came up with, and it's a really neat concept. He's cut them a little bit less than in half, and you can see this is 2 separate modules that you can branch off of. He's got an end plate here and an end plate there, and he sends his Mini-Mo stuff all the way down through there. It looks like that's all he brought right now, but I've seen him set up at the Lancaster train show. He's got a complete oval of these Mini-Mo modules. I told him the engineering behind making these 4, 5, and potentially 6 modules all interfaced together, hats off to him, man. Couldn't have been me. They've got a really, really well set up yard down here on the other side of this concrete plant. It ladders out like a yard should. I've seen some model railroads where people kind of just cobble a yard together. You can tell they put a lot of thought into this. It's laid out really well. It's nice and usable. It's like, what is this, 5 modules long? something like that. So plenty of room. And then this is really neat. This is a bridge that they've framed out. And this is something we're going to try to get into soon, because you know, a lot of these modules, they're plain, they're flat, they get a little bit boring after a while. But you can absolutely do some crazy stuff with this waffle frame, and it's just as strong. Some of them have legs. This one has legs. Some of them don't. I think we're going to build ours to just be suspended by the end plates in between. But it just kind of proves the versatility of this platform with these waffle frame modules. Because there's no reason you can't do stuff like this. It takes a little bit more engineering into it, but it's by no means impossible. A little trailer set up here, and then we're back over to our ramp. And you can see that ramp, just ever so slight grade, comes down from the 50-inch railhead that we use to the 48 that they use, and we can connect to them, and we'll bring our train out onto theirs and run with them for 3 loops and take it right back in. So the whole building's one big layout. The setup and breakdown is so easy because of the way these go together. So we've got a couple clamps here on the underside, and when you take those clamps out, at that point, there's really just a couple of wire connectors. And we got these quick connects. It's a little easier if you have one person on each side, but you just go a little bit at a time. And pop them apart, because they're all on wheels and your pins line up. You have a pin and a hole, and a pin and a hole. You have the same thing on the other side here, and they just pop right in together. As far as breaking them down, the legs are built in and fold up underneath. It's a pretty ingenious system. Everybody uses a steel template that you put up against the end of it, line it up with the track, and that tells you where to drill your holes. So when you put it together every time, it's going to line up the exact same way. And then just give it a squeeze. And sometimes the last little bit you've got to use a clamp for, and it'll line up the exact same way every time, as long as you drill those holes in the right spot. And then you've got your track power connectors. Pop them back together, clamp it in, and you're ready to run. And those joints will line up perfect every time. Like you can see all the way down through here, there's no joiners, there's no fitter rails. Some of the other module standards, they'll spend an hour or two just going around putting in fitter rails. We're ready to run.